this video, I'd like to show you how the effects of coronavirus are reflected in a Google Trends graph. And I'm going to show you this not just for the virus itself, but for certain types of products that a lot more people have been looking for as a result of coronavirus. So first of all, starting out with the actual word coronavirus, you can see that there's been a huge spike in popularity. All right, you can see that this line suddenly goes up very quickly in a very short period of time. All right, so that shows a very drastic increase in popularity of the search term on Google. And if I change this to worldwide, you'll see that this is a worldwide effect. All right, so we see the same thing worldwide. Now what I'd like to do, I'm going to change it back to the United States, which is where I am. And I'm going to look at a few different types of products. For instance, face masks. Right, we know that there's been a huge thing with face masks. And as you can see again, right, these are big spikes in comparison to what has been very flat here, and then all of a sudden we have this huge increase. But I want to make it clear that, again, Google Trends is relative. It's showing you how the popularity has changed over time. So this does not mean that very few people were looking for face masks. It's just that so many more people have been looking for it, or looking for this particular search term for the past month. And that is why suddenly it's spiking so high. All right, so much more than it was here. So this is relative. This is showing you how much it has changed, right? And the change is so drastic that it makes the rest of the year look flat. Okay, another example I'd like to show you is bottled water. Okay, bottled water. I'm going to type that in. Okay, and here's another one, right? So we see it's down here, and then all of a sudden the graph shoots up here for the last month or so, right? So again, bottled water is another example of something where there's been a very drastic increase in popularity, because normally when things increase, it increases in a curve. Whenever you see a line, a straight line like this is a drastic change in popularity. It happened in such a short period of time that it's a straight line instead of being a curve. All right, so that's another example. I'd also like to show you another one, toilet paper. Okay, toilet paper. I mean, this is a straight line again. So again, this doesn't mean that toilet paper was not popular throughout the year. I mean, toilet paper is always being searched on Google. All right, it always has pretty good search volume. But it's just that it increased so much so quickly that the popularity right now makes the popularity throughout the year look like it's at the bottom. It makes it look very low. Okay, again, it's relative. All right, that's so I just wanted to take this chance to use this as an example of really demonstrating how Google Trends works. Because I want you to, the main point I'm making here is for you to understand that this is not actual search volume. Google Trends is showing you change. All right, it's all about change. It's about knowing when something was most popular over a certain period of time. So we see that it was way more popular here. Now this is these results are very unusual due to a worldwide epidemic, which is an unusual event. So this is not the way that it would normally change, right? A normal change would be a lot more gradual if you just take something random, all right, like shirts, for instance, right? You see a much more, this is a much more normal way for things to change, all right? Sometimes there are results that might peak and dip a little more, but, this is much different from what we saw with the other terms where it was just flat and then a huge spike. That's because it increased so much. But you do see a dip, right, that this is dropped down, and I suppose that might be because shirts are not exactly one of the main things people might be concerned about right now. So we see there's been actually a dip in that for the past month. Okay, so Just wanted to show you that. Now if you were to actually, I'm going to go back to what was it, toilet paper actually, and I'd like to take this opportunity to actually download, click the icon here, download the data to Excel. This is actually my trends analyzer, which I'm going to show you as well. Okay, and here, as you can see, we have this very low search volume, and then all of a sudden the numbers get very high. All right, which is, again, this is very unusual. I'm going to take this data and copy it, and then I'm going to paste it into my trends analyzer, which I actually created, and I have a whole other video on how this works, which you can check out as well. I'll link it in the description of this video so you don't have to go looking for it. And what this does is it actually shows you the average for each month or each period of time. I usually use it for the past 5 years, but in this case we're just using it for the past 12 months. All right, so as you can see, this month is so much higher. We have an average of 30 popularity, where here for all the other months it's on 2, and that's because it is just so much more popular right now than it has been for the whole year, that it makes these search volumes look very small, and that's why you have all 2s here, but you have 30 for March. All right, just so you understand how this works, right? And these months are actually, by the way, an average of 2019 and 2020, so you might actually want to look down here to see 2019 numbers. All right, so, and then if you look here, 58, actually for 2020 it's 2, 2, and then 58. So what it's saying is that the popularity has been, relative popularity has been at 2 since March of last year, and now March of this year it's 58. All right, that's a very, drastic difference. So anyway, so if you're into sales like I am, these are some items you might want to think about selling if you can get your hands on some of it. And if you haven't seen this before, I have a record button. You click record results, and it just takes a little while to process. And when you go to results, it will record those numbers, the average, into onto the sheet. All right, so if you don't have a copy of this, now there are 2 things you need for this, right? First of all, you need to have Microsoft Excel. This is not a Google sheet. But actually, to get my most updated copy of this, you will need a Google account, because being that it the way it runs, I wasn't able to have you download it from my website, so I had to put it in my Google Drive. And you'll have to download it from there. It does include macros, which are mini programs that run within the page. I had to use macros in order to program these buttons to automate the recording of data and the clearing of data. All right, if you click clear data, it'll clear everything out. So you do need to have a Google account in order to access the Google Drive, so you can download a copy of this. And again, the way I normally use this is that I actually would normally set this to the past 5 years, and then take the data from the past 5 years. But again, this is very unusual. These results are very unusual. You usually would not see this for the past 5 years. Such a huge difference, but these are unusual times. So hopefully you got something out of this video. And again, make sure you get your copy of the Trends Analyzer if you don't already have one. And just be careful. Make sure to take care of yourself. Be smart when it comes to this coronavirus. And hopefully I'll see you in another video. Thanks, and take care.